we can do it. So folks, check this. So I have here these light objects, right, that which affect, of course, the character, because this is light object. It's EEVEE, or could be cycles, but in this case this is EEVEE render engine. However, this is just a linked scene. I have another scene with workbench rendering. So I have this and not this. These are different. So I use this one, and can use flat, or we can even create new here, more stuff, flat or matte cap. But I'm still diving on this more. But I've created this tool here just for some trying to mimic the flat approximation. So here we need this one, right, to see how it will look on the compositor actually, but couldn't be previous. So you see that the light doesn't do nothing. Not only the light, also certain elements. For example, you see the eyes there, shading. If I look for the object of the eyes and their material, yes, actually, if I look at, yeah, I have some combination of colors. You see that none of this will work on Workbench, not even color map, node mixing, stuff like that. So and this is extremely limiting, besides the fact that not having the light objects for ambience is also very, very bad, right, for certain scenes. So here you'll see that on the EEVEE scene I've got something on her eyes that is not only do the colors mixing work, like this black white dot, they are just image texture color mix there. So it's nothing, it's not a real right, it's a texture, color texture. Then the however, we have some reflection, roughness, right, on the only for the iris and pupil, not for the sclera. They have different roughness map, and this is also something we can't achieve on Workbench. So then how to, so one idea that is very popular apparently, because it provides some interesting possibilities, so is that we transform every shading results, including rough, into color, and then we can play more with color. But I found out that in Blender the shader system, it's really against texture map. The color map, color maps are the color map, the texture paint, manually artistic painting, all this good image texture for old school, they really get sacrificed by the shading system in Blender, by both EEVEE or cycles. It's very, very hard to get this stuff work. Then the lots of solution involving some degree of cell shading tries different ways to get a good let's say interpolation of cell shading between the tones or between the shadings, and it's just too hard, because what I'm telling here, what I'm telling you is that on my experience, and I've sort of noobish, so forgive me, but essentially shaders will destroy, in current EEVEE and cycles, they will destroy texture. So this is the basis, and texture is the organic part, right? The procedural part is nice, it's great, but it doesn't do what we want artistically many times for more stylized 2D artwork looking. And so, however, the Workbench is another story because it super values the image texture. Maybe not exactly what I have here, but um, we can have some interesting uh, in sacrifice of lighting, right? We can have very good stuff with this. However, we can, since it's very hard to reproduce what Workbench does naturally in on EEVEE and cycles, I have been trying, I wasn't successful, then the solution for certain artistic works, instead of trying to reproduce some all these which is granted by fantastic Workbench to those you know, the cavity, yeah, so I have these cavities here, all these settings here, we can play with that, and we can even play more as I've shown in the beginning, right? But anyway, so we get these cavities and all that, and we can then have, finally I'm gonna explain, so we can composite a Workbench render engine to super value the image textures, artistic ones, organic ones, and and then to compensate for the lack of support in fantastic Workbench for what concerns artwork, 2D artwork, in my opinion, right? We get the compositor of maybe render layers for the EEVEE render engine or cycles just for the lights objects and for some shading effects like roughness map, this kind of stuff, reflections, you name it, right? I'm not gonna describe everything. So, and even color combining that the Workbench won't do. So in the end we can have an alpha blend that we can something where this happens. So let's just re-render here something quick. So I'm gonna go back to my first scene. Let's get here on the layout and let's get some thing here, and could be this, and here we can, why not, let's this thing. Also I have some line art with grease pencil on some collection. So anyway, so here we're gonna render this. You see, this is the render, but actually I want to show there is a light that I've put there just to show the effect, right? Hope it will be visible. Need to turn this. Where is the light? Here. Yeah, so you see this light is sort of blowing up the face. Maybe here we could see something of interest. I don't know. It's not super interesting here. Why it would be in the Workbench? So anyways, I'm gonna test something here. Then I'm not gonna render from here because I want to use the compositor, the original one, the main one, which is from here. And so here I'm going to re-render this. We barely see, but there's some reflection, blue reflection there, right? So here it's not looking very nice because actually there is VVV here. Let's hold Alt and move this here, and this hold Shift, move here. You see I'm all to EV here on the alpha over. Now this is all the Workbench, so somewhere in between we'll start to have a nice blending of them too. So usually for me, because I will try, anything will be nice, right, mostly, but I would prefer something around here, more text. And then of course this is just switches for different possibilities. So this can take a while to figure out if we want to explore a lot of stuff. So basically, and these are the ambient occlusion also done in Compositor. I found a tutorial that explains right that. So you don't need to make for every material composite ambient occlusion for the maybe this is a little less accurate or powerful, but it still does. This is only for the pass, render layers for the EEVEE render engine scene, so that we'll have the ambient occlusion generalized, which is kind of okay. It's a generalization, but it will simplify all the materials, and also it gets an interesting work. And then this Kuahari just to blend some stuff, and then finally, yeah, so this is a way to mix, to get the best of each render engine, the best of, in my opinion, right, very good feature of, instead of Workbench for organic, more to not let the textures be destroyed or be consumed by the shading system, by the shaders, right, of EEVEE and cycles. So for now, I think this I don't know any other way now to achieve this kind of and I think this is very, very cool. So the possibilities are, it really looks like some illustrative artwork to some extent, like and the texture map that color maps that I have texture for the skin especially is very, very crude, right? Imagine if it was done more carefully, more artistically, more profound, and I will do eventually for some features, but that's it. So folks, that's it for the highlight. Hope sorry too long, but hope that was very valuable topic for us artists trying to mimic 2D or get inspiration from 2D, and or even doing 2D in 3D, right?